Good evening, and welcome to our July 14th council meeting. On roll call, Councilwoman Alma Flores is excused. Then if you'd please stand, and the pledge will be offered by Councilman Lopez and the invocation by Councilwoman Dusty Brantner.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. As we come together in this place of civic responsibility, may we be mindful of the privilege and duty entrusted to us. Let us be guided by clarity of thought, strength of character, and a genuine desire to serve the common good. May our conversations be marked by respect and collaboration, even when we differ, and may our choices reflect the values and hopes of those we represent. Let us lead with patience, act with wisdom, and move forward with purpose, always keeping the best interests of our community at heart. With appreciation for each voice at this table, we begin tonight's meeting. Thank you. Amen.
Thank you. Any comments from citizens on agenda items? No. Non-agenda items? No. Okay, then we'll move on to item number 7, presentation number 1 from the town of Pima.
Mayor and Council, thank you for having us on the agenda and having us here today. We are here to say thank you so much. For those of you who don't know, I'm going to give a real quick rundown of exactly the turn of events that what brought us here today. Over the off season, we were able to resurface our pool this year, and in its almost 40-year history, this is the first time it's ever been resurfaced. So it was badly needed. And thanks to United Way and Arizona State Parks grant, we were able to get that done. We were very excited about it and had a grand reopening day set up. And the day before we were set to open, the main pump, or the main motor on our pump, went down. And so we had to postpone our grand reopening and our swim lessons and everything else while we scrambled to try to find a pump. Jay Wright reached out to us, and you guys have some spare motors because you've had this problem before, so you guys made sure to have some spares in stock. He generously let us try those. Nothing worked, so we weren't able to open in time. But the one thing that we could not postpone or reschedule was our swim team. Our swim team consists yearly of over 80 kids in Pima, so it's a big deal, and canceling it all together is just out of the question. We compete against Safford, Thatcher, and Morenci, so it's a swim team season. We can't just say let's do it in a few months. So Rebecca Johnson, our swim team coach, reached out to all the other coaches, and Sam Park, Safford's coach, reached out promptly to her and said, "Hey, I'll see what we can do to help you out. I'll run it up the flagpole." Shortly, Robert Abelos reached back out to Rebecca and said, "Hey, I've got it approved, and we found you guys a time slot." So from then on, for the next while, the Pima kids were able to come up to Safford at 8 p.m. on weeknights and be able to be coached by swim team. Safford graciously just said, "Come on up." They didn't charge us anything, didn't make us feel like we were imposing, and we were able to continue to do that. And as a week turned into 2 weeks to almost 3 weeks before we were able to get our pump and get it installed, you guys graciously let us use your pool. And so we are here to say thank you so much for stepping up and not asking questions, just making sure to get the job done. And I'll turn the time over to Vice Mayor Bailey.
Hi, good evening. My name is Teresa Bailey. I'm the Vice Mayor of Pima, and I'm truly honored to stand before you today and express our gratitude towards the city of Safford for letting our little swimmers use your pool. I wanted to extend a massive thank you for your incredible generosity, and I also want to acknowledge that and celebrate that City of Safford is good neighbors with us. It takes a village, as they say, when we're all so close together to be good neighborly, and we thank you so much. I think we have a couple of our little swimmers here that want to give you a plaque.
You know what, I was just going to say, well, kind of what you said. That's what being good neighbors are about. Thank you.
Thank you.
So this happens to be at the same time that our swim team is having their year-end party. But this is Jace Batty and Layla Batty and Sanford Nelson. They may or may not have had a choice being here instead of the party, but you bet.
The full council want to come down, take a picture?
For those of you in the audience, the plaque says presented to the town of Safford, to the city of Safford by the town of Pima for helping our swim team stay afloat in the summer of 2025.
Paul?
Thank you so much.
Okay. Then we're gonna go ahead and close our regular meeting and reconvene into a public hearing.
Mayor, Council, this is Troy Bamer, your Finance Director. We are opening up a public hearing today and that's required by Arizona Revised Statute 42-11710 or 104 and 42-117-107. We had this public hearing prior on an earlier date back in June, but because of the numbers were a little bit different than they are tonight, meaning that we were advertising a different one, we wanted to have this public hearing one more time with the correct numbers that show that us keeping our level tax rate would earn the city $11,326. The previous public hearing had that at $14,000 because we were incorporating new construction in that number. So just to make everything 100% clear and transparent, we're going to reopen the public hearing today for the public to speak about us keeping our baseline tax rate at the same tax rate it's been for the last 10 years. And that will result in 3.53% greater revenues of $11,326. With that in mind, I turn it over to the council and the mayor for the public hearing.
Is there anybody in the public that would like to make a comment or any questions? No? The council, everything's fine? And again, nobody from the public? Okay. Then it's done.
All right. With that in mind, Mayor and Council, we'll have another agenda item after you close this public hearing where we'll be voting on the budget and the tax rate. So with that, I'll turn the time back over to you, Mayor.
Okay, then we'll close the public hearing and reconvene back into our regular session. Item number 11 is adoption of resolution R25-024. That's setting the property tax levy.
Sorry, I gotta get there. No, sorry. I'll get there, sorry. Thought I'd have it pulled up, but I got so many tabs open. All right, so.
Are you doing adoption?
Yeah, it should be the one, right? R25, which is adoption of the
Got it.
setting the property tax rate. All right. Mayor, Council, again, Troy Bingham, I'm here. This is a resolution now that we have had our public hearings. multiple public hearings, and we have gone through the process of asking the public. We've talked internally. We've developed a budget based on us collecting 0.5135 is the tax rate for this fiscal year, this next fiscal year to come in. Actually, it's the fiscal year we're in. With that in mind, I now have a resolution before you that will solidify that for fiscal year 2026. The tax rate will be at 0.5135 for $100 of assessed value on properties in the site inside the city of Safford city limits. So with that in mind, I turn it back over to you for your vote and resolution.
That's a discussion item. Anybody have any comments or?
Mayor, I move that we approve the adoption of Resolution R25-024, setting the property tax levy.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve resolution R25-024. It's setting the property rate tax levy, and this will be a roll call vote.
Mayor Ortega,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Lopez,
Aye.
Councilmember McCoy,
Aye.
Councilmember Ratner,
Aye.
Councilmember Hemphill,
Aye.
Councilmember Arbizo, and just for the record, Councilmember Flores is absent today. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll go ahead and read it into the minutes too. This approves resolution number R25-024, a resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Safford, Graham County, Arizona, making levy for taxes for all purposes for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026.
Okay. And then we'll wait. Okay, then we'll go on to item number 12. That's new business. The first is, and everybody have a chance to review the June 23rd, 25.
Mayor, are we doing the final budget?
We need to do
first?
11-2.
At the top.
Oh,
Yeah, you have number 11 too for the final budget.
oh, okay.
We only did the, yeah.
Okay. Then adoption of resolution R25-025, it's the fiscal year 2025, 2026 final budget.
Mayor, Council, this is a request for Mayor and Council to adopt Resolution R25025, adoption of the City of Safford fiscal year 2026 final budget. A lot of the decision-making we did for the budget was done during the June 9th tentative budget, when we set the cap for as high as we could be in the budget. The budget has not changed from the June 9th budget. You did approve additional CIP projects, additional reclasses. The budget has gone from 89.74 million to 107.15 million. As you can see from the chart that it's provided in the council communication form, your biggest increase is 13.45 million in CIP. CIP continues, our capital projects continue to grow, and we continue to add to our capital project plan for the next 5 years. This is just for fiscal year 2026 though. We have increased due to carryover from previous year projects that were not completed, and additional projects we added to that. We are $13.45 million higher than we were last fiscal year. With that in mind, we also reduced the contingency requirements. Contingency, again, is when we need additional budget capacity. If we found a new revenue and a new some sort of expenditure, we could take that on because we have contingency of $10 million. If we took on additional things that we did not approve in the budget, that $10 million capacity allows us to do that in fiscal year 26. These are for things that we have not seen and do not know about at this point in time. We have a full fiscal year to figure that out. Most of the time our contingency doesn't get used, but we do come back a few times during the year with new and insightful additions to the budget. Outside of that, personnel increased 7% and operations and capital increased about 10%. Once you factor in just growing costs in the city from inflationary cost on contracts and inflationary cost on commodities purchased, those seem well within line with what the inflation is looking like to net for every government in the state of Arizona. So with that in mind, staff recommends the approval of resolution R25025, a resolution adopting City of Safford fiscal year 25-26 final budget in the amount of $117,145,468. turn the time back over to mayor and council.
Any comments from the council?
Mayor, just that I appreciate the process, all the hard work that goes into presenting this and informing us, giving us opportunities to guide the process. It was outstanding again.
Anybody else? If not, it's an action item.
Mayor, I move that we approve the adoption of Resolution R25-025, the fiscal year 2025, 2026 final budget. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve Resolution R25-025. It's the fiscal year 2025-2026 final budget. All in favor? Opposed? Got that, B? Then we'll move on to item number 12. That's the
I'll
new-
have to read it in.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
This approves resolution number R25-025, a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Safford, Graham County, Arizona, approving and adopting the city budget for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026, with the vote of Councilmember Bratner and Vice Mayor Lopez opposing.
Thank you. Now, item 12, the new business. Everybody have a chance to review the minutes of June 23rd council meeting? Any changes or?
Mayor, I move that we approve the minutes for June 23rd, June 23rd, 2025. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the June 23rd, 2025 council meeting minutes. All in favor? Opposed? And we'll go to item number 2, special events liquor license application.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is a request for the Mayor and City Council to review and approve the Arizona Department of Liquor Licenses and Control application presented in support of the Local First Arizona 2025 Rural Policy Forum Summer Block Party in conjunction with the Graham County Chamber of Commerce. This application requires approval of a local governing body for final consideration by the Arizona Department of Liquor Licenses and Control, and the staff recommends approval. Background. The Local First Arizona organization is holding their annual Rural Policy Forum here in Graham County. The 2-day event assembles rural and tribal economical development professionals, community leaders, and business owners, other stakeholders, and advocates to collectively share the experience, knowledge, and capacity that sustains Arizona's rural and tribal communities. The event will close with a summer block party scheduled to take place along 5th Avenue and the 400 block of Main Street on Thursday, August 7th from 5:30 to 8 p.m. Approval of this request will allow alcoholic beverage service at the venue and vignette and open carry during the planned festivities. Analysis. The Graham County Chamber of Commerce Special Event License application provides a detailed security plan which includes a cordoned off area identified by barriers and signage as an open container alcohol zone. There will be 3 controlled entry and exit points with security oversight located South 5th Avenue and both intersections of 5th and Central Avenue on Main Street. No alcohol will be permitted outside of this area. All patrons purchasing alcohol will be checked for proper ID and allowed a 2-beverage limit per purchase enforced by the security and the supporting Title IV certified beverage handlers. The Local First Arizona 2025 Rural Policy Forum Summer Block Party is another great opportunity to showcase downtown Main Street and our local hospitality while promoting a sense of community pride and unity. Barring any questions, this concludes my presentation.
Mick, can you go back to where you said that was going to happen? Did you say the 400 block of Fifth Avenue?
The Fifth Avenue, South Fifth Avenue and 400 block of Main Street.
That's
Partial.
okay, the 400
Yes, sir.
block of Main Street. I'm sorry, I thought you said the 400 block of Fifth Avenue. And
Oh, no, sir.
That's on the wrong side of the highway.
Anybody else?
Mayor, I move that we approve the special event liquor license application for the Local First Arizona 2025 Rural Policy Forum Summer Block Party.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the special event liquor license application. All in favor? Opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 3, property purchase. Assessor parcel number 102-22-173B and 102-22-457. Lance?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is a request for Mayor and Council to approve the purchase of approximately 1.13 acres of land. Assessors parcel numbers 102-22-173B and 102-22-457, located at 425 South Central Avenue in Safford. This land purchase would benefit the city for potential future commercial use. Strategic goal is growth and development. Little background analysis. The property has sat vacant with a poured concrete slab and plumbing lines installed that was originally intended for a hotel many years ago. Staff approached the property owner to see if they'd be interested in selling. The owner was interested, and so the city hired Baker, Peterson, and Associates to complete a commercial appraisal of the property. The appraisal report came back with a market value without considering the cost to remove the existing concrete slab of $440,000 and an as-is market value of $380,000 for the approximate 1.13 acres with the existing concrete slab still in place. Staff has had a conversation with the property owner and thoroughly evaluated the appraisal and came to an agreement that the appraised value is reasonable. Staff recommends that the purchase of the approximately 1.13 acres of land located at 425 South Central Avenue for $380,000 plus closing costs, recording fees, and the removal of an outstanding city lien for previous abatement. Funds required for this purchase. For the purchase of this property would come from FY 25-26 contingency funds to cover the expenditure, and general fund reserves would cover the revenue. I stand for questions.
I just kind of want to ask, now, we buy that. Now, we'll have the authority to keep that clean and keep all the junk that accumulates in there?
Yeah, the intent would be to purchase it.
Even along the, on the, east side of it?
Yeah. Yeah, we already own a 6-foot strip of property along the east where the power line is. And I think there's a gas line there. We already own 6 feet there that we are technically supposed to keep clean. They park those cars inside that east side too, and our intent would be to purchase it, clear the slab out of there, prep it basically for future commercial use.
Yeah, 'cause that's a nice piece of.
It is a nice
property.
piece of property.
Anybody else?
Mr. Henry, there are no other liens up against this?
No, I had Stuart Title do a title report, and Ms. Embeck did one about a year ago, and the only thing that's on there recorded now is our lien we have for a previous abatement. And was it March of this year, we had a lien placed for $3,150 for cleaning up the property, and the property owner requested that we drop that lien with the purchase, and I basically told him that's the way I'd present it.
So it was us that had the lien.
Yes,
that
ours
we
is the
dropped.
only lien on there.
Does anything else go back? Like, we gave up the power line, that was an alley. Does that return to an alley, or we can turn it back into an alley, or whatever we need to?
I believe that's the 6 foot on that east side that we still own. The title report showed 3 parcels there. The third parcel is actually just an easement for that property with us for that electric, and I think there's a gas line there. But we already own that, so we'll retain that. And then there is a little parcel, if you look at the second, if you go to the next map, there's a strip right along Central Avenue that I think we, can you go to the next, I think that's UB. The next slide, right there. That's the strip that's basically part of Central Avenue, the sidewalk. Assessor's maps are probably off a little bit, but that portion was apparently part of it. So they could put their hotel and stuff right out to the sidewalk.
So on the east side where we do have the power line, we own 6 foot, but we still maintain a 10-foot easement?
I don't know what we would have. Right now, it's recorded as a 6 foot easement. with the title report. And once we own the property, we can create any size easement we want for that power line.
I just don't know if we're gonna end up causing Mr. Cook extra work to remove that line back there. Looks like the gears are spinning now, but
Well, and I don't know, it's 6 foot on our side, so I don't know if there's anything on the east side of that power line, which would be on the neighbor's property. There could be, but what's recorded with this property is 6 feet from the property line between the two parcels.
but no matter what, we can adjust to it ourselves, and
Once we own it,
it's
we
our
can.
property, we can do what we need to. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Mhm.
Mayor, I move that we approve the property purchase assessors parcel numbers 102-22-173B and 102-22-457.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the purchase of assessor parcel number 102-22-173B and 102-22-457. All in favor? Opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. Then we'll move on to item number 4. That's the Fleet Police Tahoe upfitting.
Mayor and council, good evening. I come before you to present the upfitting for their police Tahoes and the council communication form. Purpose of this request for mayor and council to authorize the expense of upfitting 8 City of Safford police Tahoes at Pride Outfitting. Strategic goals, finance management, business relations, and development. A little bit of background. On May 12th, 2025, mayor and council were presented with an overview of the status of the City of Safford's fleet. On 9 June 2025, mayor and council approved the purchase of 26 vehicles from Kempton Chevrolet, 8 of which are police Tahoes, which included the expense for upfitting. The analysis of this, the police Tahoes require upfitting prior to be deployed with the City of Safford. Pride Outfitting is a state contract and has submitted quotes for this work to be accomplished. Pride Outfitting will upfit the Safford Police Department's Tahoes for a price of $229,820.60. Recommendation is staff recommends that mayor and city council approve the expense of $229,820.60 to complete the upfitting on 8 City of Safford Police Tahoes.
Any discussion?
I'm not getting this. You're asking for the 229,000. It's not part of what we've already done with Kempton?
Correct. Those vehicles purchased through Kempton's have to go out to an outfitter to upfit with the cages, the lights,
Yes, sir.
the computer stands.
So this isn't in the price. This is an extra 200.
This is an over and above the purchase price of the vehicle.
Over and above. That's the one. And you just decide to go with this outfitter? There's no bid for it?
Pride Outfitting is the state contract. We've done others with MHQ, another upfitting company out of the valley, and we've had good luck with Pride lately. Their turnaround is very quick. MHQ, it's 3 and 4 months, correct, Tyler? 5 months? 5 months out. So the upfitting of these and their turnaround on this, what did it take, Chief Anderson, with the fire truck? Was it 2 weeks? Month and a half? So their turnaround is quite good.
So a bid wasn't required.
A bid was not required. They are under state contract.
Okay.
Yes, Ms. Brandner?
Can you
Yeah.
please explain this again? Because it says the purchase of 26 vehicles, 8 of which are police Tahoes, which included. So now you're wanting an extra 200? Because that's saying it included the expense for the uplifting.
No, that was just the price of the vehicles. This upfitting is over and above the price of the purchase price.
Because I thought
That's
Councilman Lopez asked when we passed that if that was going to be included in the price, and we were told yes.
Just to clarify, I think we're talking about 2 different things. So the purchase of the vehicles, so the upfitting was included in that. I think it was 1.9 that was approved previously by the council. This is being brought back because of the amount that we're asking to spend aside from the Kempton's location at the upfitter. So this was a part of that original package that you've already approved.
That's
We
what we're
just,
asking.
yes, we just need the approval now because part of that money is going to Pride Outfitting.
That makes sense. That's what we're getting at.
I'm gonna need to touch base with you guys, because I'm not sure when we go out to bid and when we don't. Because I thought after a certain amount, we went out to bid.
Right, if the vehicle or if the thing we were buying is under a state contract, it's already been bid out, and entities like ours, Tucson, Sierra Vista, can get onto that state contract price, which has already been bid.
I can understand why you want to go with them, but I'm just trying to understand how we procure the money too. So, okay, thank you, Chief.
Mayor, I move that we approve the Fleet Police Tahoe upfitting from Pride Upfitting.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the Fleet Police Tahoe upfitting. All in favor? Opposed? Then we'll move on to item number 5, purchase of a 60-foot bucket truck and digger Barrick from Altec.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Purchase of a 60-foot bucket truck and digger derrick from Altec. The purpose is to request the mayor and city council to approve the purchase of a 60-foot bucket truck, digger derrick from Altec. Strategic goals is financial management and infrastructure. Background, purchase of the 2 electric department vehicles will replace a 2006 International Altec 440 bucket truck and a 2008 International Altec 4300 digger derrick that are approaching their 20-year useful life. The current build time for both these trucks is 3 to 4 years. The resale of the older equipment will be marketed at the public surplus once the new trucks arrive and are tested. It is the city's intent to cash fund this apparatus using existing vehicle replacement funds and yearly contributions from the electric utility department in fiscal year 2026 through 2028. Pricing is determined in the invitation for bid the city issued in May 2025. Altec was the lowest reasonable responsible bidder at $390,684.09 for the 60-foot bucket truck and $501,240.19 for the digger derrick. Staff is requesting an additional 10% contingency on the price due to the tariffs and the model year price adjustment that is still unknown in fiscal year 2028. Recommendation, approve the purchase of the 60-foot bucket truck and digger derrick from Altec with a 10% contingency for tariffs and price changes for final modifications.
Any comments?
Mr. Cook, and you said they came in, Altec came in the lowest bid.
So we put it out to bid. 3 people came back with bids. One failed to do both vehicles. The other one did not have all the modifications that we requested on them.
So but you did put it out to bid.
Yes, sir, we did.
Okay, and you got Altec was probably what you wanted.
Yes, sir.
3 to 4 years.
3 to 4 years currently.
My gosh.
And that number is probably going to move
Yeah.
about further, I'm afraid.
And like you and I talked, a lot of disaster and towards the east has caused a lot of our materials to be delayed.
That is correct.
So that reminds me of a substation where we're going to be delayed on some stuff too, but that's not part of our conversation tonight. Thank you, sir.
Any other
Welcome.
comments?
Mayor, I move that we approve the purchase of a 60-foot bucket truck and digger derrick from Altec.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve purchase of a 60-foot bucket truck and a digger derrick from Altec. All in favor? Opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll move on to item number 13. Number 1 is Hollywood Road improvements and utility construction contract award.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is a request for Mayor and Council to award a construction contract to KE&G Construction, Inc. from Tucson, Arizona for the Hollywood Road Improvement Project. Strategic goals for this project are infrastructure development and maintenance. And our background is, this project is funded by HERF, Autoloo, sales tax, and enterprise funds with a total budgeted amount of $5,090,000. The project will consist of installing a new water main and new sewer main utilities, as well as widened pavement section, curb gutter on the north side of the street from Highway 70 right away to the eastern end of Sunrise Village, curb gutter and sidewalk on the south side of the street from Highway 70 right away to the last residence fronting Hollywood Road, removal and replacement of the Stockton Wash box culvert, mill and overlay of the remaining road section to the city limits east of Copper Canyon. The project was advertised and bidders solicited in accordance with ARS formal bidding procedures. A notice for invitation to bid was published in the local newspaper. We had a pre-bid conference on May 28, 2025, and we had 4 prospective bidders attend. June 26th, the city clerk received 1 bid that was publicly read with the following results. KE&G Construction, Inc., with a bid amount of $3,090,309. The Hollywood Road project is in the city's capital improvement plan as a carryover project from previous years. We had Bowman Engineering do an estimate for the project that came in at $3,734,828. Project recap. So we had a streets budget for this project of $3 million, a water budget of $1.545 million, and a wastewater budget of $545,000, totaling our $5,090,000. KE&G came in at $3,090,309. It's broken down there for you between the various departments or the categories. Our recommendation, the staff has found that the lowest bid submitted by KE&G Construction, Inc. is the lowest responsive bidder and is qualified to complete the work as specified for this project. Therefore, staff is recommending the contract award for the construction of Hollywood Road improvements to KE&G Construction, Inc. in the amount of $3,090,309 and allow the city manager or his designee to execute contract orders not to exceed 10% of the construction contract value, if in the best interest of the city to do so. And I stand for any questions.
Any questions from anybody?
Sir, when they get in there and do it, I'm hoping you're coordinating with Mr. Cook to get across the street with conduit in case we ever, when Sunrise Village comes around and we get ready to reconduct that. We got a brand new line, overhead line that just got done down Hollywood Road. So I'm hoping that's in your plans too.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, yes.
He said, yeah.
He nodded yes.
Okay, because that's about the cheapest thing we have is conduit.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
And they're not going to want to take some time off during the summer or anything like that? Do we have any of those problems?
I don't believe so on this project. I
Not
think
on
they're-
this project.
They're ready to go.
Oh, okay, I see where you're
I'll
going.
just speak to this project, yeah.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Mayor, I move that we approve the Hollywood Road Improvements, Road and Utilities Construction Contract to KE&G Construction, Inc.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the Hollywood Road Improvements and Road Utility Construction Contract Award to KE&G Construction out of Tucson, Inc. All in favor? Opposed? Okay. We'll go ahead and go on to item number 14. Thank you. Resolution number R25-023, Volunteer Firefighters Insurance Coverage and Termination Policy.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This request seeks approval from the Mayor and Council to adopt Resolution R25-023 and the associated policy. volunteer firefighter insurance coverage and termination policy. This policy establishes formal procedures for maintaining and, when necessary, terminating insurance coverage for volunteer firefighters due to non-payment of premiums. A little bit of background: volunteer firefighters are eligible to participate in the city's insurance program. While premiums are partially subsidized by the city, participants are responsible for timely payment of their remaining portions. To ensure consistency, transparency, and fiscal responsibility, this policy defines the billing structure, acceptable payment methods, and consequences for non-payment. Few policy highlights: premiums may first be deducted from any city-issued pay upon request. Remaining balances will be invoiced via the city's accounts receivable system. Payment can be made via multiple accessible methods: in person, by mail, Dropbox, or online. Written notice will be provided 30 days after missed payment, and another 30 days will be given to provide payment. If payment is not received within 60 days of the original due date, coverage will be subject to termination. Once insurance is canceled, the volunteer firefighter will not be eligible to sign up for benefits until the following open enrollment and is not eligible for COBRA coverage. Volunteer firefighters will sign an acknowledgement form upon enrollment to confirm their understanding of these terms. The recommendation: this policy provides necessary structure and clarity for both the city and its volunteer firefighters. It safeguards city resources while supporting compliance with insurance and payroll standards. Additionally, it ensures that volunteer firefighters are informed and accountable for their share of benefit premiums. Staff is recommending City Council approval of the volunteer firefighter insurance coverage and termination policy and the associated resolution. With that, I'll stand for questions.
This is mainly housekeeping?
It is.
No red line? Nothing's gone up?
Mayor, Vice Mayor Lopez, this is a brand new policy, so no red line version, and simply we just have a few repeat offenders that we have trouble getting premiums from, and so this is to hopefully help solve that problem.
To get their attention. Okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
Mayor, I move that we approve Resolution R25-023, volunteer firefighter insurance coverage and termination policy.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve Resolution R25-023. That's a volunteer firefighters insurance and coverage termination policy. I'll just make a comment. I see, why you're doing it, but it's a shame it has to be done.
Mayor, can I bounce off your comment with the hope that maybe budget time next year, we don't need this policy anymore?
Fingers crossed.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Opposed?
Thank you.
This approves resolution number R25-023, a resolution of the mayor and city council of City of Safford, Graham County, Arizona, approving a volunteer firefighter insurance coverage and termination policy for inclusion in the Human Resources Policy Manual.
Thank you. And we'll move on to number 2, Resolution R25-026. That's the SPA project contract number 2021-2, the resale agreement. John?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I will have 2 of these. There are 2 projects. And I also handed out an additional sheet, which I asked the clerk to make part of the record regarding our overall portfolio. As we go through these 2 items, I wanted to kind of put in one place where we stand in terms of our electrical department and what is contained within it. With that said, staff is seeking council approval of Resolution R25-026 that will authorize the City of Safford to participate in SPA project contract number 2021-2. SPA has established this mechanism to authorize SPA and its participating members to enter into the power purchasing agreement with sellers to obtain energy capacity rights, ancillary services, and environmental attributes for the benefit of subscribing participants. The project in question is the Pinal County Resale Agreement. As council is aware, City of Safford is a member of the Southwest Public Power Agency. a consortium of 23 electrical and irrigation districts, Indian tribes, and municipalities throughout Arizona, whose purpose is to ensure the provision of reliable electrical power to its members. As a member of the group, the City of Safford participates in discussions that provide administrative oversight that includes ensuring that there are enough electric resources available to meet member needs. Staff has brought various solar agreements to City Council. The previous project-based item was the Box Canyon resale agreement approved in April of 2022. That agreement provided an additional 9.8 megawatts of solar capacity, no battery. The Pinell County resale agreement allows the City of Safford through SPA to participate in the APCO Pinell Solar and Storage Planning and Subscription Agreement. That title couldn't be any longer. This agreement allows for participation in the development and use of power generated by a site located in Pinell County that through the development of a 400 megawatt photovoltaic solar facility with battery will provide SPA project participants with both solar and battery resources. The City of Safford will acquire 3.4 megawatts of output in the form of energy storage systems, ESS, which is essentially battery. Currently, the City of Safford has a total of 20.6 megawatts of non-photovoltaic resources, which actually is off. It's actually 22 because CRISP isn't in there, but it is on your sheet. During most of the year, those resources are sufficient to allow the city to meet its needs and sell some amount of excess capacity back to the market. However, during the summer peak months, we exceed usage of the 20.6 megawatt allocation. We now have an additional 9.8 megawatts of solar provided by Box Canyon, as noted above. The Pinell County resale agreement will add 3.4 megawatts of battery, aiding in our ability to avoid market-based power purchases during peak summer utilization periods. And so basically what is attached is an agreement between us and SPA. SPA will be the one who then goes on to make an additional agreement with APCO to then put in place the facility. And they do this because in SPA, we need to create a project. So we have to figure out in SPA who wants to participate in the project. And in some cases, in the case of the next item, there are external entities that aren't even in SPA that will participate. So this document basically commits you to 3.4 megawatts of battery at that facility. The agreement also allows you to get out of that agreement if you want to, and what they would do essentially is take your allotment and they would give it to other participants, and then you could make your exit. So there is an exit strategy, but in order for them to proceed with the facility, they have to get a commitment for the facility capacity, which they currently have. This would be our portion.
Sir, have we changed any of what we're asking for, our amounts? Have we changed at all?
In terms of the capacity,
Yeah,
no.
Safford.
No, we had not. And there was an original request that, in the case of Box Canyon, that we reduced what we were asking. And in my meetings with them, I told them that was not a direction we wished to go in, and they backed off of that, and we retained our 9.8 megawatts.
Okay, who represents us with these? Do we have our own lawyer to help us with this?
We do. In fact, because the electric as a system, when they deregulated, made it extraordinarily complicated. I felt that the legal counsel that we were getting for several years really was not giving us the kind of expertise we needed. And so we did change counsel to a different firm, and they are phenomenal. Very, very good. They understand the industry. In fact, I can see a difference in my interactions with SPA as a result of having this new relationship with our new attorney.
So this is our agreement with SPA, the group, and then SPA will negotiate more on another end.
Correct. They will actually negotiate the agreement by which that facility gets built and constructed, but our costs should be fixed at this point.
So if we put the rest, any thought of having our own solar here in town now?
No, we had attempted to get a grant that actually would have helped us build the substation and a solar field. And we can always continue to pursue those, although they'd be more difficult to get at this point.
Okay. But I'm glad we have help with the representation. 'Cause
Yes, and it's outstanding.
Yeah, because this is quite a crazy, this is pretty crazy.
It is, and there comes a point where, because of the nature of these documents and the fact that they're legally driven, as staff, we can only go so far, and that's where this attorney and their law firm comes in. Megan Grable is her name. She is outstanding, and so is her support staff. So if for any reason I'm not sitting in on a meeting, they will sit in on our behalf. Very, very talented group. I've been very impressed.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else?
Mayor, I move that we approve Resolution R25-026, SPA Project Contract Number 2021-2, Resale Agreement, Pinal County Project.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second to approve Resolution R25-026. All in favor? Opposed?
This approves Resolution Number R25-026, a resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Safford, Graham County, Arizona, approving and authorizing the execution of the Pinal County Resale Agreement.
Then we'll go on to Resolution Number R25-027. That's the SPA Project Contract Number 2021-2. That's a resale agreement with Apache 2 project.
Mayor and council, I won't read through the memo again since it's a repeat of the previous memo until you get to the second paragraph in the background. Again, as we brought different agreements, but you'll note that in this agreement, the City of Safford is acquiring 5 megawatts of solar and 6.6 megawatts of energy storage systems, again, battery. So if I could, just to take a quick look at the sheet that I passed out. So council is aware that originally we had some power coming from Mesquite, which is a gas-fired facility. We have 19 megawatts of power capacity that we have there. We have 2 hydro sources. One is Hoover, one is Glen Canyon Dam at 1.6 and 1.4 megawatts of power. Box Canyon is now up and running, and we are receiving solar power from Box Canyon right now. So the 2 agreements in front of you, the first one I read is the last one on the list, Pinal, and the one that I am currently in the process of conveying is Apache 2. And so again, there's something I wanted to kind of discuss a little bit the way this works. So you'll notice that there's a column for power, the amount of megawatts, the capacity that we have, and then there's something called resource adequacy. So if you look at the Apache 2, for example, you'll see that while we have 5 megawatts of solar, in terms of it giving us legal capacity, it does not. And then if you look at the battery, you can see it's a 1-to-1. That's how that agreement, the agreement before you right now, is built. It's the way that they count it. They take the higher of the 2, meaning on Pinal, if you look at battery or solar on the Box Canyon, you'll see you have 9.8 megawatts, which they count as 0.125. So for the sake of your capacity, from a legal perspective, they only count 12.5% of your solar capacity, even though you're probably generating 10 megawatts. And the reason they do that is because you could have cloudy days. You never know if you're going to be fully generating. Right now, the facility is operating at full capacity. Sometimes they come in under, they overspec it, so we are getting our full allotment. But from the standpoint of regulatory enforcement and counting capacity, in the case of Box Canyon, they only count the 9.8 as 12.5% of that. All battery resources are 1-to-1. So I did want to make you aware of that. However, you'll still note that by the time we get into the summer of 2026, you'll be at 32.1 megawatts of capacity, which should put you in a position to be in excess of your peak. So in speaking with Mr. Cook, we've been watching capacity, and we're also working very hard to kind of really get a good handle on exactly what our usage is. So far, in those hotter days that we experienced this summer, we peaked at 27 megawatts. So again, once we start to add these other resources on, we should put ourselves in a position, even at peak, where we can sell power instead of buy when it's expensive. So again, that's part of diversifying the portfolio. In addition to that, SPA has a program whereby they hedge. Because of the gas spike we experienced a couple years ago, we went from 4 megawatts, 3 megawatts of or MMBTU to 45. Well, we took a huge hit on that. Well, by using things like solar, you'll have more options in your portfolio where you could literally go through your solar first, go through your hydro first, and then you could get into the mesquite, but you could sell your excess back to the market. So this helps us to hedge naturally against fluctuations in the market now. So if we do experience another commodity spike on gas, because that's how mesquite is powered, this will give you a built-in hedge on that by using the cheaper resources first.
Is the price that we sell it back, is it determined by SPA or by us?
Mayor Ortega, Vice Mayor Lopez, it is market.
It is the market.
We get market.
Okay, it's the market. That's
Yes,
a
sir.
good thing. Now, this solar, because you talked about cloudy, because I'm not crazy that it's always reliable. It's not causing us any fluctuation?
Mr. Cook would probably be better able to answer that than I could. I don't think we would see anything on our end.
No fluctuation? Okay.
And I think that they basically put the power into the grid. I don't know that we directly receive the
No,
power.
probably don't. I just want to make sure we're selling, when we get to sell it,
Yes.
we sell it at, well, can't do better than market, I believe.
Yeah.
And they'll, and do you think there'll come a time where we have excess where we won't be able to sell it? There won't be a demand at one time during the year?
Yeah, and
And we don't get any credit for it?
that's the problem with peak. So you're going to, 9 months out of the year, you're not going to maximize that capacity. However, I will say that we tend to sell more often than not, and we sell internal to SPA and onto the open market. So we've got a couple of opportunities to sell that power. At this point, I don't know that we have not been able to sell, but I can't say that for sure. But it's something we can look into. And in fact, I was having conversations with the finance director because one of the issues that we continually have with that relationship is the nature of the billing and the complexity of it. And so the intention, and I was on the phone with Mr. Delaney today, is to get with them and sit down and start looking at these bills as we add solar, looking at the administrative costs and the other, so there's other costs that are behind the scenes that we pay for reserves, but really breaking down what are the intergroup sales, because you'll do that first. So we want to dig in a lot more, both on the capacity, like what we're actually using, and then the billing to make sure that the billing is accurate.
Mr. Delaney still involved with this?
He is. They had another gentleman that had taken the helm. Apparently, he has been let go, and Mr. Delaney has since come out of retirement and resumed his duties. So he's back at it.
Now, with all of us being part of this, and the rest of the people that are involved get ready to sell theirs, is there a pecking order on who gets to sell it first, or we sell it as a group?
We sell it as a group, as far as I know. And again, that's another question that we've often asked: who sells what first? And I really don't know the answer to that question. I think, and that's something we want to ask them.
Well, you the one that got voted in to find out.
Thank you.
Okay. That's all, Mayor.
So let me just wrap up the bottom so that we get the numbers in there for the record. So currently, the city is actually at 22 megawatts of non-photovoltaic resources. We now have obviously the 9.8 in Box Canyon. The Apache 2 agreement will add 5 megawatts of solar and 6.6 megawatts of battery. So between Pinnell and Apache 2, these two agreements, we will add 10 megawatts of battery. So it's 1-to-1. And they're actually talking about going back and even looking at Box Canyon and seeing, because COVID hit the price of that project hard, they took battery out. They're now considering at some point putting battery into that as well. So there may be additional opportunities for us to buy additional resources. So this agreement would give you 5 megawatts of solar and 6.6 megawatts of battery.
Can we sell to our partners within SPA?
Yes, and we do quite often.
Anybody else?
Mayor, I move that we approve Resolution R25-027, SPA Project Contract Number 2021-2, Resale Agreement with the Apache 2 Project.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve resolution R25-027. It's the SPA project contract number 2021-2, resale agreement with the Apache 2 project. All in favor? Opposed? Okay.
This approves Resolution Number R25-027, a resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Safford, Graham County, Arizona, approving and authorizing the execution of the Apache 2 resale agreement.
Thank you. Okay, then we'll move on to item number 15, finance reports. Number 1, the P-card reports. Anybody have any questions on them? Comments?
I was under the assumption that all of our technical, all the iPads, phones, everything came from IT. I'm noticing one of the departments has a $1,290 charge to T-Mobile.
I believe that's the police department. That's their charge for their laptops, specialized laptops in their in their cars. That's how they actually connect. They don't use Verizon, they go through T-Mobile.
Okay.
So that's
Okay,
actually a
not-
cellular charge, not an actual purchase of anything.
And the only other thing is if they could please be putting how many people are going to the dinners or when they're putting the meals, because as John and I were looking at some of them, you can't tell how many. You see in an amount and where they went, but you don't know how many people are on that ticket.
We'll bring it up in staff meeting tomorrow, but we have reached out to the various people that did not put those comments this month.
Thank you. Otherwise, it looks really good, especially the water department. Thank you. That one looks really great. It's very informative.
So the charge for cell phones, you've divided that up to where it goes to the individual departments now?
Correct.
And this, I like the P reports, but these are like 5 months old.
Correct. We're trying to get caught up. We have had a lot of landfill-related charging that we've been focusing on. So we'll have the next few at the next council meeting in August. So that's our hope, is to get caught up all the way through June 30th.
I didn't know Mr. Cook, I believe, his outfit bought flags. I don't know what are flags. I know H-taps.
Come on up to the microphone, Mike, so the people at home can hear you.
Yeah, I know H-taps, I know wedges, I know that, but flags.
So the flags are for all the flag poles that are owned by the city. We were having a hard time getting them from the warehouse, so we reached out and got them so we could put them up, put new ones up.
You're the one that goes and does that and all them flags, or you the one that buys them?
Yeah, Danny, the electrician with the bucket truck, he's the one who takes care of those.
I wondered who got them because they're up early.
Yes, they are.
And yeah, I kind of agree with the mills. Some of these things are getting out of hand. You know, I've never really got on anybody or said anything when you go out for training and stuff, but you see the 3 mills, three people in the same price for one person. I don't know. That's right. I don't know if there's a, what do you call it when they get a certain amount of money per diem?
We typically try to follow the GSA per diem rules for zip codes.
Yeah, and I remember the police department used to be on a per diem. I don't know if there still are. But
Our current travel policy does not pay by per diem. We pay whatever it costs for meals. That's our
whatever it
current
costs.
policy. If we would like to look at changing that, that's something that we can talk about as a group, and I can bring back a revised version. Everybody does it a little bit differently. In the city of Safford, we pay for everything it costs when you travel. Some places will set a per diem based on the federal government and zip codes. Sometimes that means that you're having to pay out of pocket for your meal. Sometimes it means you're getting excess. So it's really half a dozen one, 6 of another. So if you'd like me to come back with a travel policy, we can start revising that and look at some other methods, and maybe we can talk about it as a group and come up with a better solution. But as of right now, the policy does not require you to stay at under any cap. It's really on your honor that you look at the GSA contract and figure out what the pricing should be, which is about $38 in the valley for dinner. And I think it all adds up to about $101 of meals for the day. I think Stafford does get the benefit of the doubt that if you don't eat breakfast or lunch and you don't charge your pre-card, then you don't get paid. We don't have to pay for it. So when you're paying per diem, you're paying for meals that they might never eat. So it's, again, like I said, half a dozen one, six of another. If you want me to look at that, I can bring that back at a future council meeting. I just need direction from you guys.
I'd like to see it set like the GSA. They set it for breakfast $16, lunch is $19, and dinner is $28. And it doesn't have to be those specific, but I would like to see a daily cap set because as you can tell on the P-card reports, there's some excessive spending on there and it really is getting out of hand and it's not keeping people honest. So, I mean, it doesn't need to be a per meal, but I would like to see a daily total because the GSA, when I looked it up, not only do they set it for each meal, but they also set it for your hotel. And I mean, if it's good enough for the federal government, it should be good enough for Safford.
Small distinction too, and I know what you meant when you said our policy, but I want to clarify that that's our policy.
Correct. It's the City of Safford's current
And I know that's
policy.
what you meant when you said that, but that sometimes the perception could be that this is a policy that staff has implemented.
I
It's
don't-
our policy.
Yeah, and he said there is no policy, so.
There's not.
Well,
There's a
there is
policy. It's
it
just very generous. as
Doesn't
you could say.
include that.
Yeah.
And if we want to change that, then that needs to come from us.
But it will vary, right? So depending on where you go.
Right.
The numbers will change.
Right.
If we follow that, or
Yeah, if you
or
follow
we
it,
could do
'cause
something a
it
little
depends
more
on location.
in between.
And this, and
I do worry about the administrative burden of tracking all that and making sure that people get paid per diem. Right now, the P card is just a natural, we already pay the P card bill monthly. If I had to go through everyone's receipts and figure out where they're going and traveling, I mean, that's just more things that our office would have to go through and check on, but we can do that. If you see a need, then we can make it happen. So,
There's 3 people going to dinner and it's almost a $400 meal. That's a little excessive. I don't know that the taxpayers would be okay with that.
Have you seen that
Yeah, it's on the P card.
with 3 people?
Uh-huh. It's on there. That's why I
400?
brought it up. Yeah, there's quite a few large meals. I mean, honestly, if you're going to a good steakhouse, but still, you need to be mindful of whose money you're spending. It's not coming out of your pocket, but it's coming out of your neighbor's pocket.
so let me
That's why I bring
bring
it
some
up.
proposed changes to the P card policy and let you guys talk in a work session in the future, and then we'll vote on a new policy if necessary, or we'll keep the current policy. But I'll bring back what other localities are doing and show you what our options are. So
That'd be good.
yeah, that'd be good, because there's a lot of, let's try to be frugal. We do the budget, we try to get going, and we have give a lot this year, the last 3 years. And it's just time to look at what you're spending things on and tighten up where you need to. I don't want to say punish, but I don't want everybody that are doing it right to have to look over their shoulder.
And then you'll bring back some
yeah,
things. for us
I might
to
not
take
get
a
it by August 14th. It might be sometime in September before we talk about it, but we'll get it back to you as soon as we can.
It's kind of like crates of water. We buy crates of water. One time I saw $1,700. We're buying water and we're in the water business.
That is correct. We do buy
Vice
bottled
Mayor
water
Lopez?
for our staff.
Just to answer and give you a perspective on the water usage, so us at City Hall, we do provide water bottles
Mhm.
to the public there in the front. Right now, since the heat started, we're going easily through 5 to 6 packs of 24 bottles a day, just in the clerk's office, putting those out. So in a week, we're easily going from 20 to 30 packs just in our department, and that feeds the guys in the water department, electric department. That's why we buy the big pallets of water. And there's times where we actually go out there and there is no water, so then you might see some charges where we have to go and purchase Walmart or Thrifty for those waters so we can continue to provide it to the public. Because if we don't have waters in there, we do get questioned by the public why there isn't waters in there. So
I'm sure
just
you
to
do.
answer that for you.
I'm sure you do, B, but we got igloos also. We got an ice machine we bought a few years ago. It's little things, and I feel strange about complaining about it, but that's, I guess, what I do.
Okay, well, let's go on to item number 2, revenues over 5,000. Any questions on that?
Not sharing anymore.
Anybody? Okay, and if not, let's go to expenses over 5,000. Any questions there? Nope. Hearing none, then we'll move on to item number 16. Thank you, Troy. Announcement of current events.
Mayor and council, thank you. Just a brief update. I know we're on record time, so I will be brief. Staff asked me to bring this forward. So on June 10th, the city of Safford started a raffle for half a cow at the suggestion of a member of our business services team. The concept was to raise money for the Give from the Heart Foundation or fund for the city of Safford, which helps with our elderly utility bills in the city, which was a phenomenal idea. This started on June 10th. You can buy one ticket for $20 for the half beef raffle or 6 tickets for $100. The drawing will be at the Salsa Fest in September. And as of today, out of the 500 tickets that we started to sell about a month ago, we have 97 left. So just a quick update for mayor and council and for those in the audience and perhaps those listening at home or watching. We have 97 tickets left, so get your tickets. Thank you, Mayor.
Anybody else? What?
Mayor, I just wanted to let you guys know on the project that we just passed in the budget for meter replacement, we are starting in the flats of Safford, just north of US 70 and east of at 8th Avenue. So we are starting that project. So if you hear any comments, let us know. But we are starting street by street, replacing all electric and water meters. Gas is more sporadic around the city, but just wanted to let you know we're out there and starting the project. First time in 12 years.
I'd just like,
No, go ahead.
I just mentioned that, let's see, I think it was Thursday at 5 o'clock at the Mount Graham Regional Hospital. They received a designation as a trauma 3. So that was really something we should be proud of for our hospital there and the staff. It was very good, well deserved.
So Mayor, just while I have a captive audience, we're trying to schedule my evaluation. As much as I'd love to be able to skip that. So we're kind of going into September at this point. We had 2 dates, the 15th and the 29th. Is there a better day for council? So how many can make the 15th?
I'll make myself available with.
September now?
For
We're-
15th? Yeah, we're moving it out to September because August doesn't look like it's gonna work.
Are these Monday nights? Or what are they? What days are those?
Mondays, they're non-council meeting Mondays, I believe.
Yeah, so I haven't sent out the email yet, but just the response so far, we do need a full council for that evaluation. And we already have the 2 dates in August where already the ones that have responded can't be at either or meeting, so we're just moving it to September now. I'll send out another email if you could please respond just so we can get coordinated with Human Resources and get that scheduled and get the required materials to all council members. So it'll be either the 15th or the
29th.
15th or the 29th of September, and those will both are Mondays.
Do we have a preference on either one of those days? I mean, Alma's not here, but
I think I could do the 15th. Get it over with.
okay. So 15th. Vice
I don't
Mayor.
know,
can-
I didn't pick up no calendar, but normally I'm flexible to everything.
All right, so we'll go with the 15th for now, and then the 29th can be a backup day if we need it. So let's go with the 15th, and I'll try to contact Councilwoman Flores and see if she can make it.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank the people painting the roads. A lot of people there, especially with old eyes, are thankful that they're painted, that they can see them at night. Thank you very much.
And I'd like to thank city staff. I'll leave it at that because I'm not sure who did all the work, but thank you for getting council a parade vehicle up and ready to go. I think it looked good.
Mayor, I have one too. The GED graduation was
Oh,
fantastic.
That
If-
was,
For those of you that attended, it was well attended. It was just great.
How many graduated?
About 15, I think?
Yeah, 16? 15.
Yeah.
That's really good.
And yeah, it was a huge success.
this room was full. There was even somebody sitting in your chair, Mayor.
That's fine.
I want to thank the police department for, it was like a 24-hour period. I can't remember if it was Thursday or Friday last week where you guys did a phenomenal job through the night and all through the next day on the robbery and the barricade situation. So appreciate you guys' professionalism and everything and being able to catch the robber within how many hours? Like 5 hours? 6 hours. See, that's amazing. Without having much information from the witnesses, they didn't have much information, and they were able to capture him in 6 hours. So that's amazing. So I appreciate you guys for all you did.
Okay. And nobody else, and we'll move on to 17, future agenda items. Anybody?
So we'll have the policy discussion on the use of P cards in travel.
Okay.
Mayor, I move that we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor?